We are looking for more goalies to join our software program so we can test it out some more. Because right now we have, I think we have about a roster of 10 goalies that are using it at the moment. We have some goalies that are using it a lot, and we have some goalies that don't use it as much. But we're just trying to get more feedback as to what the feel is for it. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown as to what we're trying to do, and I'm going to show you the software itself right after. So first things first. I want to talk about statistics. So when it comes down to goalie statistics, the current statistics that we have access to now, their advanced statistics are getting better, but when it comes down to goaltending side of things, it's not great. And the reason why I say this is the only options that we have right now is really save percentage, goals against, and goals saved above average. Those are really your three statistics that you'll have access to. For younger goalies that are not playing at a pro level or at a junior level yet, you're typically not going to have a goals saved above average. You'll only have access to usually save percentage and goals against. But irrespective as to what statistics you have access to, whether it's save percentage, goals against average, or goals saved above average, they don't really tell you a lot about how you are doing. Now, obviously, everybody wants to have a low goals against average. Everybody wants to have a high save percentage, and everybody wants to have a good save, goal saved above average. That being said, though, it doesn't really mean much. And the reason why I say it doesn't mean much is right now, when we look at what's available, like how we keep track of these things. So this is the dashboard of Instat. The goalies haven't used Instat before. Instat is a cool software where every time you play games and it's recorded, they take your videos and they cut your game clips. So they give you basically access to all your highlights of the game. So if you're a player, every time you're on the ice, it would collect the clips, so you don't have to watch a full game. So if you're forward, anytime you're on the ice, and you're seeing by the camera, those clips would pop up, so you're able to just see the clips that you're on the ice for, instead of just like watching a full game. If you're a goalie, it'll cut every time you're puck handling, and it'll cut every clip where you make a save or you get scored on. So instead of again watching a full 60-minute clip, you're able to watch a 6 to 10 minute video that has all your condensed saves, goals against, and your puck touches when it comes on to puck handling. And it does keep track of certain statistics in it. Some statistics that it takes is it keeps track of where shots are released. Let's say it goes high blocker. Here, like it'll say, like, okay, you've got an 89 save percentage here, 75 save percentage, 33 save percentage, whatever the case is. It kind of tells you a save percentage based on the area of where the puck went to. And it'll also show you where shots in the net are released or on the ice are released from. The red dots would be where the goals come from. All right, so that way you're able to see where your save percentage is per area of the ice. The problem with this, though, is if let's say we take one of those shots from the right here, like let's say the shot in the middle right here where there's a red dot, a shot from the slot. Now, they'll give you a save percentage based on this area right here. So that would be a 67.9 save percentage for the goalie that I took the data from right there. Now, that's cool to know. Okay, in tighter proximity in the slot area, you have a 70% save percentage, but it doesn't really take into consideration the situation that you are encountering. And what I mean by that is, if let's say we take here a pass out option, the player is behind the goal line and makes a pass to the middle, and then that player here takes a shot to high to the glove side, right? So that situation right here would be recorded in right here as a goal from the red dot right here and the red dot to the left right here. So we know that a shot was released from this area and it went to this area right here. But again, it doesn't take into consideration the situation itself. And that was a pass out situation. But what if it was a lateral feed where the puck is going from high, going low, and a player takes a shot down to the area there? Now that's different. A lateral feed is different than a pass out, because on a pass out, you're moving off your post. So there's no depth element to that play versus on the lateral feed, because the puck is located above the goal line, you have to manage your depth somehow. So the situation itself is quite different. Now, it could also be traffic. There could be a screen in front of you, shot gets released from the point, it gets deflected, and it gets deflected top shelf to the glove side. Well, again, the shot's being released from the exact same spot, and it's going to the exact same area of the net, but it's a completely different situation. And we can also have a rebound. Player takes a shot, you make a pad save, rebound goes to the middle, player picks up the puck and shoots the puck high to the glove side. Well, now we already have three different situations where the puck was released in the exact same area, and recorded from the same area, going to the exact same area of your net, but they are completely different situations. And we also have a breakaway. It could be a rush off a 1-on-0 off the rush. So a breakaway, the player just comes up to the top of the hash marks, takes a shot, beats you high glove. So right now, the way that we're currently taking statistics, it's good to know your save percentage, but it doesn't take into consideration the type of situation that you are seeing in your games, right? And we all know that some situations are harder to handle than others, right? You could be in a game where you get a 30 save shutout, but every shot is released from the perimeter of the ice. And if every shot's coming from the perimeter of the ice, that is a much easier game for us to handle than if every shot is coming from the slot and if they're lateral passes, deflections, all these things, or breakaways, where you only get 15 shots against. If it really has to give you the option between being in a game where you get 60 shots against and all of them come from against the boards or up by the blue lines from the perimeter, or facing 20 shots that are breakaways, well, there's a pretty good chance you prefer having the 60 shots that are from around the perimeter because they would be easier for you to handle than handling 20 breakaways. Your save percentage on breakaways would probably look a lot worse than shots coming from the perimeter of the ice. But currently, when we look at our saves, our save percentage, our save percentage doesn't take into consideration those types of situations. So just as an example, there's a few years ago, I was coaching in Olds in the AJHL, and we had 3 different goalies that played for us. We had Tristan Martin, Jared Well, and Marcus Cumberworth. So a quick story: we had Tristan Martin was our goalie at that time. The writing's a little bit small, but he played 18 games for us early in the 2021 season, and he had a .856 save percentage. So not very good, but our team was the worst in the country. We would never win any games. All right, it was a very, very bad team. And when we traded him to Spruce Grove, his save percentage overnight switched from a .856 to a .906. So right away, save percentage just shot right up. The goalie that we brought in from the Brooks Bandits. And when Jared was with the Brooks Bandits, after 9 games, he had a .932 save percentage. When he came down to play for us overnight, that save percentage dropped to .883. So he went from a 93 save percentage to an 88 save percentage. It's a huge drop in his save percentage. His goals against went up by quite a bit as well. He went from a 1.67 to a 4.61. And did Jared become worse overnight? No, he was just playing on a worse team, right? Did Tristan become better overnight? No, he was just playing on a better team. And I got Marcus Cumberworth here at the bottom. Marcus, when he played for us in Olds, he played 36 games. He had a .887 save percentage. And I thought Marcus Cumberworth was very, very good. I really liked him. I thought he had a lot of talent. I thought he was very, very strong, a very, very good goalie, very dialed in. And he came in the year after Jared Well. And Jared, when he was in Brooks, ended up getting a scholarship to Alaska for Anchorage. So he went to the NCAA. And after playing for us in Olds, after he got traded to us in Olds, he went straight to the NCAA. And this next season, we had Marcus that came out to play for us. And I, as much as I like Jared's a very good goalie, I thought Marcus Cumberworth was better. And I talked to a few NCAA teams, especially Michigan Tech. And what they weren't sure about when it comes down to his gameplay is nothing about the way that he handles situations or his technical skills or anything like that. They kept going back to his save percentage. They're like, listen, we like what we see, but we just don't really know if he's able to make the jump to the NCAA because his save percentage is so low in the Alberta Junior Hockey League. So if his save percentage is so low in Junior A, how can he move up to the NCAA when it's a higher level? He's not going to be able to do it. And I was trying to make them understand it's not the save percentage itself, it's the situations that he's seeing in games. He's just seeing more high scoring situations, and that's why his save percentage is lower. But if you were to compare him situation by situation against the goalies that play on the top teams, I would bet that he has a better save percentage overall than all those guys. It's just that because he's seeing those high scoring situations, his overall save percentage is lower. Unfortunately, they didn't listen to it, and he ended up having to commit to a Division III school in the NCAA. He's still playing college hockey, but I do think he could have been a D1 athlete. So it's kind of unfortunate. And that kind of brings us to what we are trying to do with our software program is we're trying to create value to the goalies by creating a save percentage based on the situations themselves. All right. So basically, understanding that a net play situation, a pass out, for example, we'll be doing pass outs in the program starting in January. But just as a quick little rundown, a pass out is a pass that's going from below the goal line to above the goal line, and the puck can go to 3 different areas. It can go to your near side, it can go to the mid ice, and it can go to the far side. So the puck can go near side, mid ice, or far side. So if you're looking on your left side post, the near side would be anything to your left, the mid ice would be anything between the 2 posts, and the far side would be across the opposite, the far post. And the puck could go to the high corridor, so it could go very high. It could go to the mid corridor, so anywhere between the bottom hash to the top of the circle, or it could be passed to the low corridor. So each of those situations are different, and the way you would handle those situations would be different. So what we want to do is we want to be able to give a save percentage that is specific to those situations. What is your save percentage when the puck goes to the near side to the mid corridor? What if it goes to the low corridor? And then we can get even more specialized with it. What if you start off on your feet moving to position, but what if you start off from VH, or what if you start off from your RVH? We want to be able to know exactly what your save percentage is when a puck goes, let's say, to your far side and you're starting on your feet versus when you're starting from your knees and your RVH. If we're able to do that, now we're going to be able to differentiate between goalies a lot better. So if you're on a good team and everybody thinks that, oh, you're good, but you're the only reason why you're looking good right now is because you're on a good team. Well, you can take your numbers and prove that your numbers are just as good, if not better, than somebody who is on a bad team, or vice versa. If you're on a bad team and your overall save percentage is lower, and people think that you're not doing very well, well, now you can compare yourself to everybody else. You can say, like, listen, my overall save percentage is lower, but that's because I'm seeing more high scoring situation. When you compare me by situation themselves, I am even or better than the goalies that are on the top teams. And just as an example, when you think about shootouts in the NHL, the average save percentage in an NHL shootout is 0.678. All right. So if you think about a save percentage overall, when you ask goalies what they want to have as a save percentage, everybody wants to have over a 0.9. Anything that's over 90%, people are typically happy with. Anything that goes below 90%, people are not happy with. But when we think about breakaways, so in a shootout, your average save percentage is 0.678. Well, think about a breakaway in a game. A breakaway in a game is a very dangerous situation. There's a higher probability you will get scored on a breakaway than a straight shot from the blue line, right? So if you're on a team that doesn't really play very well defensively, and you see, let's say, 2 breakaways, there's really a 54% chance that you'll make you'll make the save. If it's 3 so there's a 54% chance that the players are going to score. If there's 3 breakaways, there's a 68% chance that they will score. If you see 4 breakaways, there's a 78% chance they're going to score. So that means that if let's say you see 4 breakaways in a game, there's very, very high likelihood that you're going to get scored on 1 goal out of 4. Very, very high likelihood, most likely 2. All right, but let's just say 1 for fun. Well, if you think about a save percentage, if you make 1 save out of 4, you make 3 saves out of 4, that's a pretty low save percentage. But it is because it's a breakaway. Breakaways are harder to handle, right? So by being able to differentiate by the situation themselves, it allows us to even out the playing field a little bit more for goalies. So that is kind of like the goal of our software overall, is to be able to validate the idea that goalies that play on bad teams can be compared to goalies that play on good teams. That play on bad teams can be compared to goalies that play on good teams. Now I'm going to show you what we've been trying to do, and after the presentation, I'll put in the chat the website that you guys can go on to access this, because you can just sign up. We have to approve your you signing up and stuff, but we'll set you up with it if you're interested. This is the dashboard for Daniel Hauser. So we went over some videos of Daniel Hauser. Some of you guys saw him on Monday. He plays in the NCAA Division I for Wisconsin. He had a long WHL career. He's the winningest goalie of all time in a WHL. He obviously had a lot of success. So this is the dashboard right here. On the dashboard, when he logs into his account, he's able to see what his save percentage is overall, but he's also able to see his save percentage based on situations themselves. So right now you can see on deflections and redirections, he has a 100% save percentage. Off rebounds, he's got a 73.3% save percentage. Net play, 97.6. Traffic, 93.9. Any other situations, 96.6. Passing play is 82. Rush, 84. Straight shots, 95. So already we're able to break those things down. We're going to be adding more features to this. We're goalies will be able to like click on net play, for example, and it'll show them like near side, mid ice, or far side options. So it's going to get a little bit more complex as we go. But so far, when you log in, that's what you see. You see your record, you see your games played, you see your overall save percentage, and you see your save percentage based on the situation themselves. You also see game situation breakdown. So those are the types of situations that you see in games typically. So for himself, 33.9% of the shots that he faces are straight shots on net. So they're not anything special. It's just a player coming in and just shooting a straight puck on net. He's got 16.1% are off the rush. Now, off the rush is a weird situation because things can overlap. You can have a straight shot off the rush. You can have a passing play off the rush and all these things. But 16% of the time that he makes a save, it is off a rush situation. 15.7% of the time, it's a passing play. 9.72% is a traffic situation. And then 3% of the time it'll be a rebound. So you can just see basically like what he sees when it comes down to shot, that type of situation that he encounters. You can also look at it per opponent. So against Alaska Fairbanks, for example, if you apply it right here, you'll see what his save percentage is when he plays against that team based on the situation that he encounters. So the idea behind this is that over time, he's going to be playing in the NCAA anywhere between 2 to 4 years, depending on how long it takes him to go pro. So over that time now, he'll be able to see that against specific teams, he might be encountering very specific situations more often, right? And you'll be able to see how he's performing in those situations. Again, comparing to other teams. So you can just go up against every that's actually the one that that's when we first started the software. You can see right here, there's it's all under other. So we need to fix that up. But you can see any team that he played against, we can see all his metric from there. Another thing that's pretty cool in there is we can now search up the clips, the specific clips of the games. So right here, just for fun, I'm going to try to search anything that was actually let's search up goals, any goal that he got scored on. And I want to see any goal that was scored on that was a net play situation. So we can see there's only one, right? And when we click on it, we can see the net play is a passing play. And he, before the shot was released, he's on his feet and he went down to make the save. So if we take a look at the video, which I'm going to pull right here.
The goal count.
So he can have access not only to his data, but he's able to rewatch his videos from there.
And it's 4-3. Here's the shot, the score! Hey!
There you go. So we have a near side pass out. Puck went in. So now if he wants to review any goal that he got scored on off a near side pass out, he can just access it from there. If he wants to take a look at all his saves that he's making that are off net play, he's got access to all those saves. Now, those are all the saves that he made over the season so far. So you can even like go check out per game. So you can look at any play that was like against Ohio State. All the clips are going to pop up right here. You can look against Minnesota. You'll see all the clips that are related to net play. You can search passing plays, and you'll see all the passing plays that he made saves in. Again, you can go per game or per loss or whatever you want to search. You can have access to all your clips. So it's pretty cool because if you're in a you want to review something that you feel like you're having issues with or whatever the case is, you can access all your clips very easily from there. We're going to be adding more to the search feature as we go. But right now, when it comes down to the basics of it, we're able to search per date against the game itself, the result, the stance before the shot, right? So was the goalie on their feet before the shot, or were they on their knees before the shot? Were they moving from RVH? Whatever the case is, you can search all these things so that way you have a good idea. If you're looking for a very specific clip, you can find all that stuff in there. Now, how we input those things is to what we call the goalie game grader. So when you're playing your game, you just pick the date, pick the team that you play for, pick your opponent. So we'll just go test, for example, the game number, start number, end of your period. And at any time, like you rewatch your game with your videos, you can just, let's say a shot got released from right here. You can click there, put down the time. If you don't have a time because like the clock isn't there, you can just put 99 or 00, whatever the case is, save a goal, and you start inputting the situation. So you can say, okay, that was a passing play off the rush. And because it was a passing play, it'll ask you, well, where did the pass come from? Did it come from outside? Did it come from the high corridor, center, low, or from below the goal line? So we're going to pretend that the puck came from the high area right here. And did it come from the left, the center, or the right corridor? We're going to pretend it came from the left corridor right here. Now, next, I'll say player count. Well, let's just say it was a 2-on-1. So now we know that we are recording what your save percentage is on 2-on-1 situations, right? And then before the shot was released, you're on your knees because you were sliding. By the time the shot got released, you're on your knees, you were sliding, and you went left to right, high to low with your slide. So you can search your direction of movement. Did you move from left to right, left to center, right to left, whatever the case is? Vertical, did you go high to low, high to center? You can pick all these things here. Crease corridor, where were you when the shot was actually released? Well, let's say you were in the low corridor right here and you were on the right. And then the net corridor, where did the puck go? Let's say it went high to your right. So it was a high blocker save. Then you submit it. And as you submit it right here, it'll show up right there. And it logs in everything for you. At the end, when you're done pressing up all the stuff for the game, you just submit the game. And when you submit the game, it'll be sent out to your folder. And this is where you're able to then put your videos in there. So if you have access to your videos, you can, let's say, go to check out the game. And then when you click on here, for example, you can then upload your videos, the video itself, to this, save it, and then that's how you have access to all your videos. You can also check out all your videos in the file cabinet right here. So you can have access to all of them right here. You can re-download them if you want to. So you can use that as a saving tool. So yeah, we store everything. Game journal, training journal, which I'll go over next year. So after each game, if you select the game that you played, it'll have the game ID, who you played for, who you played against, and everything. And you can put down your notes as to how you reflected about the game. So you can write down like you felt your base was getting too wide, or your base was really good, your elbows are too tight, your elbows were loose, your shoulder checking well, managing depth well, whatever it is that you want to write about in your game, you can put to the game journal, and then you can then send it in and submit it. Once you submit it, what it does is it goes to our LLM. So we call it Tendy. And our Tendy LLM is able to aggregate all the data that you have on your account into the LLM, and you can use it to ask questions so they can help you with certain situation, even help you with understanding certain things about yourself. You also have a training journal. So if you, let's say, this week, you guys work with us in the morning ice time, you can go in here. Let's say you're in the morning group. You can go on the 17th right here. You trained on ice. You trained with us here. And you can write down about your training session. And when you submit your entry, it'll go straight to our Tendy LLM. And the cool thing about Tendy is you can use it for a few different things. If you sign up to this, you'd be connected to the Evolution Goaltending LLM. So that's an LLM that I'm building that's basically learning about all the theories that we talk about. So in our program, we talked about the save process, blocking versus reacting, forward-leading hands, all these things. So you can ask questions. Now, I haven't been able to build everything I want out of it. Like it's still learning, but I haven't given it every answer to every question. But let's say you want to ask it like, tell me about the save process. So you can send this to it, and based on our theory and everything that we put into it, it's going to give you an answer based on what we told it, right? All the data we put in there. So you can ask it questions about situations. I would not take everything it says as 100% accurate, because again, it's still learning as it goes. But you can see here the save process, according to evolution goaltending theory, is a fundamental framework to all goaltenders go through during play, regardless of sport. It consists of 3 distinct phases. So you get the shot preparation, the save execution, and a post-save response. And it summarizes exactly what those things are. So the shot preparation phase covers everything before the shot is taken. It focuses on optimizing position before the shot is released, and it talks about the positioning is defined by the 3 position element: angle, body positioning, and depth. So you can ask questions like this. You can ask it, when is it appropriate to block versus react? There you go. So it'll go over blocking, how blocking is passive. It's about filling space. You'll be utilizing 5 to 10% at a time. and how, because you can't extend as easily and you're a little bit tighter, rebound control is not going to be as good, and your post-save response is not going to be as dynamic. So it'll answer all these questions, but also you can use it to ask it questions about your statistics. So right now I'm on Daniel Hauser's account, so I can ask it, what is my save percentage off the rush on 2-on-1 plays? What's the difference between when a player shoots, when a player shoots versus when they pass? I'm doing this live. I don't even know if it's going to work. We're going to see here. See what it comes up with.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, we'll see, Jonah. We'll see. Oh, there you go. It's got it. Your save percentage on a 2-on-1 rush play is 75%, meaning you stop 9 of 12 shots faced in these high-pressure situations. Breaking it out further, when a puck carrier takes a direct shot on the 2-on-1, you face 7 shots, save 5, and allow 2 goals. Your save percentage is 71.4. When a 2-on-1 play involves a pass before the shot, you face 5 shots, save 4, and allow 1 goal. Your save percentage is 80%. So there you go. Now, one thing to keep in mind when it comes down to that data is the 2-on-1 data was added only a few weeks ago. So there's some of the data is missing because the older games that we inputted for Daniel don't have the 2-on-1 option. So over time, we're going to have more data on those things. But you can start asking it more specific questions about what your save percentage is in those situations. And you can potentially get even deeper with it. You could even ask it like, what is my save percentage on a 2-on-1 play when the puck is shot to my glove side versus my blocker side? There you go. Doing this live again. We'll see what it comes up with. See if it's got the answer.
Well, the nice thing is too is there's some information that you input. So, for example, it'll know that if you catch right-handed versus left-handed. So Tendy will have access to that kind of information to better aggregate those kinds of questions.
There you go. So it's got it. So 6 shots faced to the glove side, 5 saves, 1 goal, 83 save percentage. Blocker side, 6 shots, 4 saves, 2 goals, 66.7 save percentage. So it can tell you all these things. And the cool thing is if you use the feature when it comes down to the journaling right here, so the game journal, the training journal, you can also ask it questions about trends, right? So you could ask it like, hey, what have I been writing down in my journal that I've been struggling with the last little bit? And it'll just be able to aggregate all these things together, all of your notes and all these things. So the idea behind the LLM is that we don't really want to use it as a tool so you can learn. So unless you're having issues in a certain situation, you can ask questions. It'll give you a good rundown as to what you can focus on. But the idea behind it too is that it's over time, if you use it more and more and more, it's got more of your data and it's able to personalize the answers more to you and be able to the more data it has, the more it's able to find consistencies in it. Some things that we might not think about, it's able to take all that data and figure out like, hey, here's a pattern that you didn't think about and help you through this. So we think it's pretty cool. You put it all together. Eventually we want to have it being able to you want to be able to have access to drills and all these things, so that if you're having issues, let's say on a 2-on-1 situation, and you're connected to us as Evolution, I've got a company account on there, and I use it to have access to your data. So any goalie that trains with us, they're using this program, if you upload your game clips and everything in there and you upload your data, I can see it on my dashboard. So I'm able to see all the goalies that we work with, what their save percentage in all these situations. I'm able to see what they're struggling with and all these things. But also when we add drill packages and more content for our Tendy model, it's able to correct you a lot better and help you as you use the software program there.
Yeah. Do you mind if I jump in, Nick?
Yeah,
quick?
for sure.
And so another really big thing is too, and so you saw what Nick was doing where Tendy had all this fantastic information on you. And that's really good for yourself too. But like what we were talking about earlier, scouts don't understand, well, they struggle to understand goal. They look at the save percentage and the goals against. They don't understand these situations. They don't understand your positioning, how you handle those situations. And so think about how the more you enter in data, the more a scout who has access to this application can understand how you handle situations personally, right? So if you're on a struggling team, like we were talking about earlier with Olds, well, instead of a scout just looking at your numbers and being like, well, I don't know if he can jump, he can ask Tendy, he can look at your stats, he can understand these situations himself. And so that's another tool in your toolkit for, advertising yourself, right? So just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we want to be building out of this. Like obviously right now we're early on when it comes down to building the software program, but we want to make it where, for example, if scouts want to have access to the software, and you want to give a scout access to your data, if there's enough goalies that use it in your league, then we can have on one side your data compared to the league average. So that way you're able to say, like, here's me compared to the league average in those situations. So you can start comparing yourself a little bit more to other goalies based on the situations themselves. And I think it's an awesome tool when it comes down to this. It's an awesome tool when it comes down to even like as a coach, there's a lot of applications you can have out of it. So for head coaches, for example, if you're playing at a higher level, you'll have a starting goalie and you'll have a backup, right? And typically speaking, when teams play against better teams, they'll put their starting goalie in because their starting goalie is technically going to give them a better chance at winning the game. However, there are some instances where the backup goalie, whether it's because they're just not as good or they're just younger, so they're just guys who you're developing over time, might be better in very specific situations that match the team they'll be playing against. So as an example, a few years ago, I was coaching for the Bullmark Okotoks team, so the U18 AAA team, and we had two awesome goalies. We had Tyson Endall, who was our team MVP that year, and Merrick Schlenker. Merrick is great. He'll be around Christmas time. If you don't know him, he plays for the Regina Pats in the WHL. He's a very, very strong puck stopper. But back then, because Merrick was a younger goalie, he was considered to be our backup or development guy, and you had Tyson Endall as your team MVP or starting goalie. And we're playing against the Calgary Buffaloes, and the Calgary Buffaloes were undefeated all the way into January. They hadn't lost one game. I think at that point they were like 21-0 or 22-0 or something kind of crazy like that. And the previous game that we played against them, Tyson Endall was in net, and we lost. And Tyson, although he's a taller goalie, I think he's about 6'4"-ish. He's a pretty tall kid. Really struggles handling traffic situations. When screens form in front of him, he really struggles to manage those situations. And the Calgary Buffaloes power play was a typical umbrella where they had screens in front, and he really struggled to handle those power play situations, and we ended up losing pretty badly. When we played them against them again in January, the head coach asked me what my thoughts were as to who we should start. And my idea was like, listen, Merrick is not as good as Schlenk as Tyson right now, but Merrick is much better at handling traffic. And when you look at the power play that the Buffalo set up, they set up a lot of traffic in that front. So Merrick is actually a better match against them than Tyson is. So my idea was like, let's just put Merrick in, and I think we'll do better. And sure enough, we played against them. I think we ended up winning 3-1 or something like that. Merrick was lights out, and we gave them their first loss of the season. So that was kind of like something I just want to try out, where I was like, hey, I think he's a better match against that team. Let's put him in, and it worked out pretty well. Now, obviously, there's other factors in there, right? But it was one of the factors as to why we won is because Merrick was a really good match. So being able to have access to that data right here as a head coach can allow you to get a little more insight as to who you want to play against which team, because you might see them as being a better match against that specific team. So there's a lot of use cases that you can for software like this, not only as an individual user, such as yourself as a goalie, but also as a coach like myself. I like to have access to that data, and especially when goalies upload their videos in there, because I can see the videos and all these things. But there's value for scouts because they can start comparing goalies against the league average based on the situations themselves. And you can also, when it comes down to the head coach, they can start matching players, goalies, and teams a little bit better when they do their lineups. So that's kind of like what we wanted to show you guys. Is there anything that you want to add there, Jonah?
No, I think I'm good on my end. I'd love to hear the thoughts of, the rest of the crew who got to see it, what their thoughts are, especially on like some of the dashboarding stuff. I know right now we kind of have just the overview of the basic situations, but as you guys can see, it goes a lot more in depth. I'm just curious on if there's anything you guys would personally like to see. Like if you entered in your data into our application, what kind of trends would you want to see, whether it's, like where you're positioned on goals, like how far you are out in your crease, how you're moving, stuff like that. So just more interested in hearing what the group thinks.
Yep. So if you have any comments or anything that you'd like to see, either raise your hand or you can put it in the chat right now. And just while you're doing this, just what we're trying to do with this, obviously we're trying to give access to more data to everyone, but also we're trying to build the software for to make it as good as we can, obviously for the goalies themselves. Our goal out of this is the more people use it, is we want to be able to utilize that data so that eventually instead of you manually having to input all that data into yourself, so like inputting each shot and everything, we want to eventually have it be automated. We can upload your game video in there and it'll automatically input all the data for you. Because if we are able to do that, obviously it'll be a lot less work for you as a user. And I think it'll be a lot even more valuable at that point. So there's a lot of things that we're trying to build on top of this. There's only two of us, and Jonah is the only one that knows how to code. I've got the best job. I just tell Jonah, hey, this would be cool. Can you do this? That's all I have to do, really. So Jonah does all the work. So things are gonna roll out a little bit slower than if we were like $1 million company. I had a lot of capital, but understand that we're trying to make this as best as we can, because we really think there's a lot of value in there for goalies, for coaches, for scouts, for a lot of people. So if at any point, if you guys are interested, I'll put it in the chat right here.
Absolutely.
The website.
And the biggest thing is too is like, this is, at the end of the day, like, we're building this out to help you guys, like help the goalies, right? Like, it's nice for Nick to have access and teams and stuff, right? But like, we want to make this the best experience for you guys, where you guys can host all of your data. You can watch yourself grow over time, right? So, I just wanted to throw that in. Another thing is too is, right now we're mentioning a lot about save percentage in situations, but another kind of long-term plan we have with this is we want to kind of build out the goalie statistic of, instead of save percentage goals against, you kind of just have your own rating. I don't know if any of you guys watch football. I personally do. They have a quarterback rating. So like, a quarterback is rated on based how they performed in the game in those certain situations. And so that's something we also want to build out too, where that would become more of a norm stat rather than just looking at save percentage and goals against. Like Nick was mentioning, they're very two-dimensional, whereas this is, as we like to say, it's more 10-dimensional, more Tendy.
Mm-hmm. And there's other things too that we're trying to do. So when it comes down to the Tendy aspect of it, like the LLM that we have right here, when you ask Tendy, we're also trying to make it where goalies will have the option of choosing which LLM they want to use. So right now I'm building one up for Evolution. So because you train with us, you can use the Evolution LLM. But we want to be able to approach different goalie companies, and different coaches in general. So if, let's say, you train with a different goalie company or whatever the case is, you work with us and you switch over to a different goalie company, you do their programs instead, you could switch the LLM to their theories instead. So it would correct you differently. Same thing on the mental side. You might be somebody who does mental performance through us, but you might also have your own mental coach. Well, we want to be able to approach those people and have them create their own LLM that corrects you specifically. So if you have any questions about pre-game preparation, mental performance, anything like that, Tendy would correct you based on the theory of that particular person or company. So we're really trying to make it as big of an ecosystem as we can, where there's a lot of options. So we're not, like, as much as I believe that at Evolution we have the best technical and tactical theory out there, I truly believe that we are the best. At the end of the day, you might not believe so, and you might prefer to work with somebody else. And I don't want to have monopoly on what your thoughts are. So the idea behind this is we want to make it that everybody has access to this, and everybody can have access to any kind of information that they want to have access to from there. So we're really trying to build this for everyone, every coach, every goalie, and whatever, and really create a personalized experience for everyone. So if you're on your own Tendy, eventually you want to have access to Evolution goaltending theory, but you also work with a specific mental coach and a vision coach, or whatever the case is. You can connect all these things together, and the way that Tendy answers your questions would be very specialized to you specifically as an athlete. So your answers would be different than somebody else's answer. So it really gives you a personalized experience there. So yeah, so a lot of plans, obviously. But the idea behind this today is we want to give you guys a little bit of a rundown as to how this works, what it looks like, and everything. And we would definitely like you to, if you get the chance, to sign up to the on our website and start using it, because we want to get feedback and see how we can develop it better for the goalies that use it. Because right now we've already got quite a bit of feedback from Cam Craig, especially messaged me and gave me quite a few feedback thing that we're gonna work on. But if you guys start using it and there's certain things that you want to see, that you want to modify, or whatever the case is, that could be really good to get that feedback. And again, the more you use it, especially earlier on, the more data you'll have, and the more data you have, the more you can use those tools to your advantage. So yeah. So hopefully you guys got a lot out of it. Anything else to add there, Jonah?
No, I'm good on my end. Just